MegaPodTastic.
Good morning, Mega Podlings. It's Krazy Joe, and we're back at the old AMC, the AMC 309, and it is time to see Snake Eyes. We're going to go see Snake Eyes, the new G.I.Joe origin film about Snake Eyes. This is the third G.I. Joe movie, obviously. The first one, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, garbage. Pure, unadulterated garbage. Second one, with The Rock, not great, but not so bad. Hopefully this one's better. This is third time, so hopefully they got it right this time. Well, check this out. Let's see if we can find the movie poster. They have the poster up. I smell some delicious food. I think it's coming from Firebirds. I think whatever they're cooking over at Firebirds smells fantastic. Well, I'm looking and they do not have a poster up for Snake Eyes. Let's go in, check this movie out. Go. I think we're in Theater 5 tonight. No, I gotta get my ticket out. Look at that. That's a good poster. Look forward to checking this one out. When's this one? Doesn't even have a date yet. I lost track because they keep rescheduling it. Going to Theater 5. First stop. The A-list Premier Access Priority only. And I'm back from the movies, back here in the old basement, and let's talk about Snake Eyes. I saw Snake Eyes based on this guy, the classic G.I. Joe character, probably the most popular G.I. Joe character, I would think. If not the most popular, certainly one of the most popular. And the movie, it's been getting mixed reviews. Not many reviews are out yet, obviously. It's only day one, but the early reviews have been decidedly mixed, skewing negative. That worried me a little going into the movie, but I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed this movie. Now, you do have to temper your expectations a little because I'm about to tell you it's the best G.I. Joe movie ever made. Well, that's not a high bar. There's only two previous G.I. Joe movies, Rise of Cobra, which is garbage. It's not hard to be better than Rise of Cobra, and Retaliation starring The Rock. And that one was pretty good. That one was all right. Not great, but decent. And if I'm not too much mistaken, there's a strange connection there because G.I. Joe Retaliation, I believe, was directed by the director of Crazy Rich Asians. Am I right there? I think I'm right. And this movie, Snake Eyes, stars the star of Crazy Rich Asians, Henry Golding. But I liked the movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It had a bit of a G.I. Joe feel to it. There was only 4 G.I. Joe characters in the movie. Of all the G.I. Joe characters, only 4 of them appear in this movie. Those 4 are Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, the Baroness, and Scarlet. Other than those 4, you really don't get any others. And 2 of them make a lot of sense. In movies called Snake Eyes, well, Snake Eyes had a very, very close relationship with Scarlet. So it makes sense that if you're going to have another G.I. Joe in there, Scarlet would be the one, because Snake Eyes and Scarlet were very close in the cartoon and in the comics. And Storm Shadow, he also had a frenemy, I think that's the word the kids used today, frenemy relationship with Storm Shadow, where they were enemies, but they were friends, and they were from the same ninja brotherhood, so blah, 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 blah. And I got to tell you, this movie was entertaining. It didn't overstay its welcome. That's another thing I was going to say. Let's compare Hasbro to Hasbro. There are 6 Transformers movies. Only one of them's worth a damn. Bumblebee. Bumblebee's great. The other 5 are garbage. We got 2 G.I. Joe movies. One of them's okay. One of them's terrible. So this movie, Snake Eyes, is better than both of the previous G.I. Joe movies. And it's better than every single Transformers movie with the sole exception of Bumblebee. Bumblebee is the only... I'd say Bumblebee is the only Hasbro-based movie that is better than Snake Eyes. So now I say temper that because sample size, that's the odds are not in Hasbro's favor. I think of those movies that I just mentioned, G.I. Joe Retaliation and Bumblebee are the only 2 that are actually watchable. The rest are just gouge your eyes out bad. But this one is not bad at all. I'd say let's try to measure it. I'd say it's better than some Marvel movies. It's certainly better than Thor: The Dark World. I'd say maybe better than a Doctor Strange, which is one of my least favorite Marvel movies. So yeah, temper your expectations there. I say 3 stars. 3 stars, good solid score. So that's what I give it. I give it 3 stars out of 5. 5's obviously the best. And once we get to 2.5, I think we're in mediocre territory. So 3, good, solid score. I'm going to recommend this. It's an origin story. We get to see how Snake Eyes first met Storm Shadow, how he first met Scarlet, how he first became involved with G.I. Joe and Cobra. And it's a smart movie in that it scales everything back. That's a wise decision. That's a wise decision because G.I. Joe, the first 2 movies were kind of messy, and this one takes the approach, just like Bumblebee, of let's scale it all back and tell a more personal story. So we get Snake Eyes at a time before he was mute. For those of you who don't know, Snake Eyes is usually depicted as mute in the comics and in the cartoons. That's Snake Eyes cannot speak. And this is a Snake Eyes before he lost his ability to talk. So Henry Golding can speak in this movie. We see how his friendship with Storm Shadow began, how he first met Scarlet. And it tells a story about a Snake Eyes who is kind of driven for vengeance. He watched his father die as a child, and he's been driven with getting revenge on the guy who killed his father. That's his driving force. That's what brings him into this world where he meets all these various characters. And I liked it. I think the action was good. It was a good origin story for the character. It was a good entry point for the G.I. Joe world. Certainly better than Rise of Cobra was. And I want to see more. And it does leave the door open. Total reboot, by the way. This is not in continuity with G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra or G.I. Joe Retaliation. This is a total reboot of the G.I. Joe franchise, and I'm okay with that. And I want to see where it goes. I hope it's a hit because I hope we get a Snake Eyes 2. And that's where it kind of leads in. It kind of leads to a Snake Eyes 2. That's where it leads. I don't get the feeling that the next movie would be G.I. Joe. I don't think they're done with Snake Eyes' story yet. At least that's how I felt at the end of this movie. Like, I guess they could always just jump right to G.I. Joe. But I feel like the natural progression is to go Snake Eyes 2 before they start bringing in more G.I. Joe characters. I would compare this to a movie like The Wolverine, or even Logan, but not as much. More like The Wolverine. This feels like we're just going to have the origin story of this particular character. Now, a friend of mine said something about, well, I heard he doesn't have the costume on, the black costume. This is his iconic look, obviously. I heard he doesn't have the costume on for most of the movie. That's true. That's true. He does not put the costume on for most of the movie. Most of the movie, it's just Henry Golding as Henry Golding. But eventually he does put the costume on. And is that a deal breaker that he doesn't wear the classic Snake Eyes costume? Maybe for some people. But me, I just was enjoying the story and where it was taking us. It didn't really matter to me that he wasn't wearing the costume. Let's not forget, in the X-Men movies, Hugh Jackman never wore the Wolverine costume. And yet, most of those X-Men movies, X-Men 1, 2, 5, X-Men 1, 2, and 5, X-Men, or the Wolverine, Logan. They're excellent, excellent films, despite the fact he doesn't put the costume on. So I don't think that's a deal breaker. At least it isn't for me. And there you go. I approve. I give this a high five. I say, check out Snake Eyes. I think it's worth watching, especially if you're a G.I. Joe fan. And you'll probably have a good time. All right, everybody, keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander pajamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.